Good morning, everyone. It's Lindsey Huddleston back in the building with another SPS Monday Motivation. Feeling really good on this Monday. I know all the Lion fans out there throughout the world are feeling good. Rock a little Honolulu blue. Just got off the bike, got a little sweat going on. But hey, feeling real good. And welcome to January 6th, 2025. That's right. Most of us are getting back to our regular work schedule coming off the holiday break. And it's going to be okay. I know you love those couple weeks off. You got to chill and all that. But hey, we back at it. But guess what? It's okay. 2025 is here, and it's going to be your year because you're going to make a conscious decision to thrive instead of survive. And that's what today's Monday Motivation is about, surviving versus thriving. As always, you know that I pull my Monday motivations from where? The headlines or my personal life. In this particular case, you want to talk about surviving or thriving. Look at those images. Really strong, really powerful. Good morning. We got Michelle Mimi walking. Happy New Year. Welcome, Michelle. You're the first to say good morning for 2025. I'm not surprised you're always here supporting me going into that. And I got my brother Aaron Mays. Good morning, Lindsey. Good morning, brother. How you doing? Oh, everyone is feeling good. I want to give a special shout out to someone, a young lady by the name of Charity Dean. You may know that name. She's a very successful businesswoman in the community, very involved with politics, state, even on the national level. I want to say that she was at the Democratic National Convention being featured as a speaker. And her and I'm going to be on her calendar pretty soon. We're going to talk about some policy things. But the reason I want to highlight her, because she has a business that sells coffee, and I'm all about that, right? And it's interesting, is Rosa. She has 2 locations in Detroit. I'll come back to this statement she made in a second. But it's funny because, as you guys may know, in my past presentations, I have presented on the SPS 12 rules of flow. And for example, here's an example of one of my slides. And you look at the very last comment, it says thriving under pressure, thriving versus surviving. And it's so funny when I looked at Charity's website, her social media, she was doing some things that rose. I see some people here. She says, 2025, we outgrow survive mode and enter thrive mode. Let me go back to that. That's me highlighting. 2025, we outgrow survive mode and enter thrive mode. And that's already something I've been preaching, as you can see, for the years, so I can appreciate that. Going back to that picture, I see a childhood friend in there. I see Reddick. We grew up together, my grandmother on the west side on Snow, and they were 2 doors down. Shout out to Reddick and his family. But what I want to get at, guys, is talking about language and surviving, not surviving. We also, if I can just survive, if I can just get through. We want to talk about thriving. Let's go back to what the definitions in the word mean. Survive is defined as to continue to live or exist, especially in spite of danger or hardships. We know about that, right? If I could just make it. But thrive is to grow or to develop well or vigorously. The new baby thrive. Those are the kind of things we want to hear. Again, surviving, the definition, focus on meeting basic needs and coping with immediate challenges. Now, that's necessary. Food, shelter, warmth, all those things are basic needs, but we want to get out of that. And what kind of mindset can help us with that? That's often characterized by stress and anxiety is what a survival mindset is. Individuals may feel overwhelmed and operate in survival mode. Now, I'm not saying those things don't happen, and many of us don't have roots that may connect to something like that. But what we want to talk about is how do you cope and get out of that? What are the strategies? They may include avoidance, denial, reliance, or basic instincts rather than proactive problem solving. So when you're constantly in survival mode, you're constantly, I'm not picking up the phone. I don't respond. I don't want to deal with this issue because you're in survival mode. And we want to get out of that. And because if you don't, what are the outcomes? Survival often results in feelings of helplessness, dissatisfaction, stagnation, where individuals may just go through the motions of life without real fulfillment or growth. Now, I do understand there may be a mode as in, that's what I'm going through right now. I'm having this moment. It may be an evening, a day, an afternoon. Sunday evenings can be like that because you got Monday coming around the corner. You're not feeling what's going on. Michelle says survival mode is exhaustion. Come on, Michelle, talk about it. Speak on it, isn't it? Oh, it'll wear you. But I think what happens is, and I appreciate you saying that, Michelle, sometimes we think survival mode is a permanent mode. I'm permanently in survival mode. I'm permanently locked in. I'm permanently tense and tight. And I feel because I've gone through this, I'm always like, you got to be careful because that can be a state you can get locked in, and we don't want that. How do you get out of that? Maybe it's a little workout. I got a bike at home. Let me tell you something. I'll be real. Peloton is cool, but I went to the pawn shop. Got me a nice bike. I'll take a picture of it one day for like $50. Come on, man. It's in the house. It's right here. I could jump on it, meaning that I can get a workout in. It's not expensive. I still go to the gym, but I'm saying think about these investments you can make to be able to do something like that. Let me say, let's keep going with that, Michelle, and I appreciate that. So let's get back to thriving now. When you get into thriving, we talked about the definition of thriving involves flourishing, achieving personal growth beyond mere existence. That's what we want to be. That's the thought we have. Well, hey, everything is good. I'm thriving now. We killing the game. I like one thing that Charity said in her post, and I'll go back to that. I'm really big on words. She says, Nora Vibes is grown. I love it here. That's one thing. But another thing she says about getting her coffee, if you're not drinking Rosa, which is her brand, then then what are you even doing? Just picked up my morning fix. See, that's a thriving statement. That's a statement coming from someone in thriving mode, not knowing what's going on with her personally. She did post some things about, hey, in 2025, we were able to, 2024, we were able to pay our employees with a new business. We didn't let anyone go. All those things were talked about, and I think that's important. But that's someone talking in thrive mode, and you can be like that. Now, another thing is when we talk about the mindset, the thrive mode mindset is characterized by optimism, resilience, and proactive attitude towards life. Individuals focus on goals, personal development, and positive relationships. And let me say something. It's going to be really hard to stay in that mindset if you got some negative people around you. If you got some haters around you. Now, look, I got people like Aaron Mays, and I got people like Michelle, Mimi, just looking out for what's going on and being able to say positive things when she says things like, hey, keep pushing. See, it's all about the people that you have around you. And I think that's really important that you know that, because it's the Michelle Mimi Watkins of the world who will say, hey, what's going on? Are you doing good things? What's happening with you? You want to have those positive people, because the flip side of it is thriving individuals use adaptive strategies such as seeking support, setting goals, and maintain a positive outlook, which fosters resilience. So who are you calling on your phone, or better yet, who's calling you? Are they reinforcing some positive things? Those things are important, and you want to have that going. And what kind of outcome you get when you have a thriving mentality? It leads to greater life satisfaction, engagement, and fulfillment as individuals pursue passions to contribute positively to their environment. That's what you want to be at. And I know it's easier said than done. Lindsay, I'm going through something right now. It's a difficult time right now. I think I saw one of my very good friends lost a loved one, and I can only imagine how challenging it can be. But overall, the transition from surviving to thriving often involves a shift in mindset, the adoption of healthier coping strategy, and the pursuit of personal growth and well-being. Now, look, I'm not knocking anyone's lifestyle. Lindsay hangs out. I have a good time, but it may not necessarily be the alcohol and partying compared to the working out. Well, Lindsay, I ain't really into working out. Well, you can walk it out doing something, because I tell you what, if you're sitting at home with a hangover and you're saying, man, I feel so bad about my life, compared to saying, let me get up and do some exercise, some little movement. I'm not telling anyone to be Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and do all that type of stuff. I'm saying, but get active, because when you do that, the blood starts flowing, the mind starts clearing up. And it's a great, great feeling. Got a comment right here. Got Michelle Mimi Watkins chimes in. She said, thriving into the absence isn't the absence of negativity, but seeing beyond the positivity. Come on, Michelle. Come on, you sit on up here with me and let them know what's going on. It's not saying, oh, you got to thrive in mindset. Things aren't going to be hard. I still got to hustle. I still got a long day today. And I won't get back here after making my rounds throughout, Southeast Michigan until later on in the evening. But look, I'm thriving because I'm doing what I want to do. I'm making stops I want to make, but I had to work to get to that point. Like Michelle says, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to be hard and life is just going to be, just a crystal stair, but it just means other work to be done. So to add to that, what's some good books? When I was doing research on this, some resources that came up, The Resilience Factor by Karen Revick, if I'm saying her name correctly, as well as Andrew Shate. Flourish, a visionary new understanding of happiness and well-being. So that may be a good resource you want to check out. Also, Tino, what's going on, Tino? Workout. Good morning. Happy New Year. That's right. That's right. We got to move around, man. Hey, listen, it's very easy with reading the news, social media, and just people in general to really get down. But even if it's some images, maybe you want to take some of these images I'm going to put up just to remind yourself. Survive. We're taking that out. We want to thrive under pressure, right? Where I'm going to tell you a story that I always close with my presentations as well. But look at this visual as well. This was what Charity kind of stated in her comment about come get this coffee. Survival mode. Oh my God, I can't handle anymore. That's the survival mode that Michelle was talking about. Was so exhausting. Then you move to just coping. Round and round we go. I'm just getting through it. But then you get to thrive. I mean, I love my work. Let's get it. And that was the kind of mindset that I got from that comment that she made. Also, too, are you thriving or surviving? You got to ask yourself that question. And if the answer is that I'm surviving, well, what are you going to do to get yourself out of survival mode? What small thing are you going to do to make a shift? It may not be a complete 180, it may be I got to make a little bit of move. Let me get up out of bed. First of all, let me get up out this warm bed on this cold day, but to get my day started, let me, get up and do some meditation, do some prayer, things to kind of be a catalyst for that. Then who are you talking to? Who are you having these conversations with? Who are you trying to build with? And then it's also a mentality, surviving versus thriving. Survival, you got all this stuff going on compared to thriving. And that's the place I want you guys to be at. Let me tell you this quick story about the American military as it relates to thriving versus surviving. It talks about the Vietnam War, and the real quick version of it, that there was going to be an attack on a military base in Vietnam, and word it came through, and these special forces guys were getting ready, and there was a study done on them. It was an actual study done. And what happened is that when they got word that the attack was going to be coming, they started training. They started getting, all their gear in order. They started cleaning their weapons. They started, getting their mortars ready. They started going through the process, basically preparing for war. And they found that their stress level decreased. That's right. Their stress level decreased when they knew of something that was happening and they started preparing for it. Well, the event didn't happen. The attack didn't happen. And their stress level went back up, meaning that when you start preparing, those are ways that you can go from survival mode to thriving. When you start putting yourself in a position to be successful, that can take you from surviving to thriving. I just want to say, whatever you have planned for 2025, think of it from the standpoint, my goal is to thrive, not just to survive. Because survive, we get in this perpetual cycle of not moving, and it can be so stressful and hard. And I don't want that. I want to give another shout out to Charity Dean, someone who's a living example of what it's all about. She said, hey, if you have not, you're not drinking Rosa, then what are you even doing? Just picked up my morning. I like that. I believe she has a location on the west side and one opening downtown Detroit that's actually open downtown Detroit, which is great. And then there's different vibes there. I believe there's a liquor license been included, so you can have a different kind of flow, and that's a good thing. And again, the last thing I'll state, she said, but God, the things that do not take for granted is that, though, through it all, we did not miss rent this year. We never missed the payroll, and we didn't close. And we never stopped serving our community. Onward, she says. 2025, we outgrow survive mode and thrive. Here's a living example of it, guys. A young lady who's doing great things. This is not the SPS story. This is someone else going from survival mode to thrive mode. And that's what I want you guys to do. What a great way to start out 2025. That is January 6th. That is to talk about, we are going to be about thriving and not just surviving. You can survive for a moment, but come up out of that and move forward. So with that, guys, I'm going to get out here and get it going. I appreciate you guys. Congratulations to the Lions and the success the city of Detroit is having. Hey, they went from survival mode to thriving, and that's what's happening. That's what it looks like. So with that, have a good day. Have a good week. Have a good month. Have a good year. And I'll see you guys in a minute. Peace.